What's up guys? We're back at it again with part 2 of the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. A little bit of a disclaimer, this is not gonna be a super glamorous video. This is mostly me just sketching out the very basic page layouts and the sketches for what's in each of the panels, so yeah. You get to see what most of my drawings look like when I very first start them. Like hot garbage. I didn't get as much work done this week as I hoped I would. I kinda got distracted with playing video games and reading and stuff, so yeah, I only got a little bit done each day, and I managed to sketch out about half of the pages, which in the long run isn't that much. We're on day 14 as of the day this video is uploaded, which is almost a whole fifth of the challenge, a whole fifth of 100 days. So hopefully over the next couple of days I'll be able to finish off the sketches and finally start doing the oversketch, like the more refined sketch before I go into line art. Yeah, that's a deceptively large amount of work that I still have left to do. I don't think I realized how much work the actual basic sketch would be. It's not like each page only took me like a little while, maybe like 10 minutes each. Even that's a bit generous. But I was working slowly because I don't know, I don't usually spend so much time on the under sketches, so this was kind of a bit monotonous and boring for me. And there was a lot of thinking I had to do just from translating the absolute mess of my original tiny little thumbnails into something larger and recognizable that I could go back to later and sketch over. So it took a little while, not too long, and hopefully only the next couple of days should cover the rest of the under sketches, and then onto everything else. Fun stuff. I'm quite looking forward to getting onto the proper sketches. I know that's gonna take probably the longest because I have to work out perspective and sort out anatomy and expressions and everything. But you know, I'm up to the challenge. I'm looking forward to it, and I know I will at least be learning whilst I do it. And in fact, I've already learned a little bit just doing these basic sketches, especially with the paneling and the composition and stuff and how I arrange the characters in each panel. I noticed I kind of got a bit lazy in my small thumbnails, and I've done a lot of front angles, just characters facing head on whilst they talk to each other or things like that. That's not super interesting. I mean, it's fine, but it's definitely not the best that I could do, so I've had to make a few changes, and definitely from the point that I'm up to now, from now on, I'm definitely going to have to make some changes to the thumbnails that I made previously, just so it doesn't all look boring and, you know, all the same. It's like every conversation is just two people staring at each other for an extended period of time, which, yeah, again, it's fine, but not good. So I'll work on that in the future. And also the placing of speech bubbles and things. For some reason in my thumbnails, I never made them connect with the sides. Like, I had to have them fully floating in the middle of the panel, which just isn't practical for a lot of panels where you want to show both the character, especially small panels, both the character doing something and then having a little bit of text. I don't know if there's rules about that. I know there's specific rules about where you should place your word bubbles and things. I don't know a single thing about that, but I'm learning to place them more attractively instead of taking up like half of or like 3/4 of a panel, and leaving the character to take up that remaining third. And another thing that I've learned that would have been invaluable to me during this, make notes on your goddamn thumbnails. Holy shit. I made my tiny little thumbnails and I put like one line of text to tell me basically what part the page was at. So maybe the first line a character said on the page would be the note that I made. That's fine, and it's been adequate for letting me know where to start on a page, like what is going to be in the speech bubbles, so I know how to make how big to make them. But I spent a lot of time just sort of looking at each of the thumbnails and being like, what are they talking about here? So little notes are fine, but you will save a lot of time wondering if you make slightly bigger notes. Just, I don't know, even if you have to place your thumbnails as you're drawing them with space at the side to write down each line of dialogue that is on that page, I think that is going to be extremely valuable in the future for my other projects. It wasn't disastrous this time, because I think I just would have got super frustrated if I had no idea what was going on in each of the pages, which is something that has happened with previous comics, I have to say, or previous attempts at comics that I've made. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And also I wanted to talk about, I kind of got lazy a little bit with some of these thumbnails, well actually a lot of them. I think the 30-minute like formula for the 100 days challenge is pretty good in that for 30 minutes you kind of put all of your effort into making it as good as possible. Unless, of course, you're of the mindset that, you know, I only have 30 minutes and I want to get as much done as possible. But personally, I find that doing it in shorter bursts, I put more effort in, which really is a general kind of rule for drawing anyway, is the longer you work, you're going to start getting fatigued. And especially something as monotonous as this, it kind of, you start making careless mistakes and stop putting as much effort in as you had in the beginning. So I think here I tried to do some longer sessions to make up for the days I did hardly any, but I ended up sort of getting that fatigue and ending up not putting as much effort in as I would have liked. The sketches are still fine, and I probably won't go back and redo them, but they're not as refined or as indicative of what I should draw and how I should fix it up as some of the other pages. So I'll have to keep an eye on that in the future and really go back and look at my other sketches and see how much detail I put in those, so I don't end up with some pages that are really detailed in the undersketch and some that are just like fat blobs on a page and I don't really know what's going on. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the template that I'm using for most of these pages. In fact, all of these pages. It's a free template that I found online, and I'll leave it down in the description if you want to use it. It has been incredibly helpful for me just knowing where the thirds and the halves of each of the pages is, without actually having to go through the effort of doing it myself, because I'm a lazy bitch. So yeah, I'll leave that down below. So yeah, that's about it for today. Just a kind of shorter one today, since there's not much going on in these sketches. Yeah, I guess I'll be back next week, and hopefully by then I should have started some of the over sketches, which will be very fun, and the comic will really start taking shape, which is exciting. Very, very exciting. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye now.